this is the pitch night. This is what everyone's been working for all weekend, why we've all been here to be part of this and to celebrate it. And I want to thank everybody here for putting on such an amazing event. And of course, it couldn't be done without the incredible organizers. And before I introduce I want to say, Alex, genuinely, this is the best run startup weekend I've been to, I think. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. This is incredible, and to have an organizing team like this that's as passionate as they are doing this is truly unique. So don't take advantage of it. Be very thankful to have such great organizers who want to do this. And Alex, I'll let you say a few words here, and then I'm going to...
Yeah, I'm just going to introduce our judges, right? And sponsors, so which one's next? Okay, so once again, biggest sponsor ever that we've ever had for the rest of the year is our pals at HireView. Jeff, thank you again. You guys are awesome. So they paid for probably a lot of the stuff you ate, a lot of the prizes. So, and then, Weaver State and the city of Ogden and the campus store downstairs, Pat Law Works and Utah Geek Events, all great sponsors that put in money and time to make this happen. So that's what keeps the ticket prices, If you do this next time, do the early bird. It's $49. And you get all that food and a t-shirt and a chance at all these prizes for $49. But more importantly, you get to hang out with all these cool people all weekend. So the best thing you can do if you had a good time is spread the word next time it comes around. Because we want to fill these up with interesting, fun, creative people every time. I think the next one we're going to do is probably going to be Utah County. And Joel has offered to co-organize that with me. And so we're going to make that happen down there. We're thinking like February or something. Does that sound pretty good? Yeah? April? No, we got to do another one by like May, June. So we're going to do like 4 a year. So then we'll do Salt Lake after that, and we'll come back up to Ogden. So thank you to all of our sponsors. So okay. So our judges, I'm going to introduce them because they won't say enough nice things about themselves. I was going to hand them the microphone and let them introduce themselves, but I'm not going to do that because they're all too nice of guys. So Porter Haney drove up here from Las Vegas. Okay. Where's Jimmy at? Jimmy. And they're the co-founders of Wedgies, which is a really cool startup that you probably already use, but if you haven't, you should check it out. But they're just good guys. They support us here in Utah. They come up for lots of things. They're good friends. They're supporters of startups. They're smart. So they give good advice, and they have some good experiences and stories. But they're really just cool people. And if you haven't become friends with Jimmy and Porter and the team from Vegas, you should, because I used to go to Vegas and hate it, because there's not a lot of things that I like to do in Vegas. But now when I go to Vegas, it's a totally different experience, and I enjoy it. It's because of guys like Porter and Jimmy and what they're doing in downtown Vegas. So we're really glad you're here. So then my friend Blake. Blake is a venture capitalist at Pelion in Salt Lake. But the cool thing about Blake has been like helping me and coaching me and checking in on what we're doing up here ever since I told him about it 3 years ago. And as far as I know, Blake has no reason to do that. There's no companies up here he's invested in. He doesn't live up here. In fact, he flew back from San Francisco, drove up here, lives in Salt Lake. He's just a good dude that just likes to help and just likes to see the community grow. And there's not a lot of venture capitalists that do that, to be quite honest. He's just a good dude, and I really appreciate all your support. Plus, they've invested in a lot of really rad companies that all of you have used. So he's going to give some great advice and some great feedback. He flies all over the world, seeing great startups, and so we're really lucky to have you here. So thanks for driving up, Blake. You're a good dude. So, and then, of course, Andrew has been here all weekend as well. Andrew Hyde, who flew in from Boulder, Colorado. So everybody, planes, trains, and automobiles the last few days. And Andrew, as you know, started Startup Weekend back in 2008. 7? I said 7 last time, I swear. I just said 8, but it's 7. I will get that right. But Andrew's just a really interesting person. He lived out of a backpack for 2 years all around the world. And tomorrow he starts the Epic race, which is skiing every Vail-owned property in the world in the shortest amount of time, gets a free lifetime pass to all the resorts. And he's starting tomorrow. So he's going to end in France in like a couple of months. It's ski 23 days he's got to ski how many resorts? 26 resorts in 23 days around the world. He starts tomorrow. So how cool is that? But Andrew is also, much like the other two guys, just a giver and somebody that just wants to help. And he isn't like into what's in it for him. He's more wants to help you, and also has seen a lot of cool startups and built some of his own and has some great advice. But again, just super supportive of what we've been doing up here. Lots of good advice. Always been willing to help. Totally willing to come out. And so we really appreciate your time coming up as well. So Thanks to all you guys. I'm done. Peace out. Let it go.
And once again, a round of applause for Alex and the rest of the organizers. You know, you guys are very So I only want to bring this up just because I had that quote there. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. And you guys have nothing to be embarrassed about, and none of you launched too late. You guys create some amazing products. We're really excited to see them. And I'm excited to show them off as part of the Global Startup Battle. We talked about it on Friday a little bit. This is this weekend is part of a 2-week event that happens. This is the 4th year that we've done it. It's called Global Startup Battle. So there are $500,000 in prizes that now you are all eligible for. There are 20,000 participants in 200 cities that are taking part in this. Here's a little list of some of the past winners. Right now they estimate there's 20,000 attendees who are participating in Global Startup Battle around the world. Just to give you an idea about that, 2 of the top trending hashtags this weekend for startup weekends were in Iran. So it's like we have the entire world participating in this. So how to participate, you guys have already done that, I need to get in there. The championship circle. So the top 2 teams from each startup weekend event, so the top 2 teams this weekend, what you're going to do is film a 60-second video. You'll have 24 hours to film a 60-second video, and I'll have the details for that. And we're going to submit that to Startup Weekend, and then it's going to be an open judging, so that's where the rest of the community comes in. You want to show that you guys made the best startups, so whoever the top 2 teams are, get the rest of the state, all of your friends around the country to vote for those 2 teams so that they can be one of the finalists and be eligible to win these incredible prizes, including $20,000 in funding, a flight to San Francisco to Google HQ, mentorship from Google experts, and a lot more. In addition to that, for the top 2 teams, there's prizes that every team is available for. The e-commerce circle, which is obviously for any of you teams that made a product that was e-commerce related. The Women's Circle project for any team that had, that the idea was pitched by a female, or that it's 50% females on the team, or it was a female-led team. And then the Innovator Circle, somebody who has a .co address, which is innovative. And then the Activate Circle, which is anyone that built on an AWS product or an Amazon product like AWS. You're automatically eligible for this. You have the same thing. We'll film a 60-second video. You can do that on an iPhone or GoPro or anything. It really doesn't matter. And then we did the hashtag battle. So before we get started, obviously I want to thank the global sponsors for Startup Weekend, which are Google for Entrepreneurs, Amazon Web Services, Coca-Cola, and .co, along with the national sponsors, which are American Express, Open Forum, and Sprint. So, enough for me. Here's the we have our judges. I'm going to get actually the first team to come up here right now. Twin tags that you guys set up. So if you guys want to set up here. So for everyone in the audience who wasn't here during the day, so here's what you can expect tonight. So every team is going to get 5 minutes to pitch, and I'm going to have a timer up here. So each team is going to get 5 minutes to speak. If you hear me, just start clapping. Join me in clapping. That means the team is out of time and they're done with their pitch. Once each team is pitched, the next team in line will come up and they'll actually start setting up their station as the judges do a Q&A. We really are trying to move this quickly. We're going to have a bathroom break intermission halfway through, but we have a lot of great pitches and I'm very excited to get this started here. So, yeah, so right now if we can get Friend Punch in line with you guys. So if you guys want to come over here and just queue up. the only thing we'll ask is you guys just keep quiet as the teams are pitching and just give them respect. So. Hi, I'm Tim, and this is Twin Tags.
Hi, we are Twin Tags, and we are creating matching tags for you and your dogs, so that you are never far from each other's heart.
Matching tags are 3D printed from a hard, durable plastic that is safe for you and your dog. You can customize these with your dog's name and up to 3 lines of text. We need your help to fund the first batch of Twin Tags. We're partnering with White Cloud, a 3D printing company out of Ogden, Utah, to make this successful. Twin Tags are not just your dog, they're your better half. So, on Friday, we got together as a group of people to see what we could pull off this weekend without coding. And so we came up with an idea of creating something for Kickstarter. So we gathered around and we threw out a whole bunch of ideas and we ended up with 2. And one of those was a t-shirt that you could play games on by writing on the person. So we went out and created some, tried to do a little bit of validation, and the most response we had was, this is cool, but it's a little bit awkward. So the other idea we came up with a 3D printed dog accessory. So we reached out, did a survey through Qualtrics. We had 90 responses to a 10-question survey. And based off of this response, people are afraid to lose their dogs. So we chose to do a dog tag. We narrowed the dog tag down to 2 concepts. One was a 6-set holiday-inspired dog tag where you can change it out throughout the season, and the other one was a matching one. And as you can see, we chose matching based off of this, as well as the survey through wedgies. And so yes, so we moved on. We also went to Twitter, reached out to a whole bunch of people. One of them responded with. Emma responded by saying, "That's so cute, I just died a little inside." And so we felt like with her response, she has over 15,000 followers, so we felt like that was a really good indication that we were on something pretty cool. So we proceeded forward, we created them, so that's pretty awesome. What we needed to do was create a video, which you guys already seen. We reached out to White Cloud to do all the graphics, the printing, and they're also going to do our dropshipping for us as well. We did some pre-backing. We have about $300 already committed to by pre-backers. And so why we think we're going to be successful? This industry of accessories is a $5 billion industry. As you can see, we've had a lot of responses already. And the real important thing is people love their dogs. And one of our pre-backers filmed this video right after we talked about that.
Thank you, Jimmy, for our best friend tag. We can't wait to wear them. Best friends, best friends, best friends, best friends.
And that's Twin Tags.
Can you tell us a little bit about the experience to get a Kickstarter page live in the weekend in 2 days?
Yeah. You guys hear me? Yeah. Okay. So what we did was, I actually started trying to do a Kickstarter a while ago, but it wasn't set up. And so we needed to get the EIN and everything set up through Amazon. And so I called them, so we were running a competition, and they did it in like 10 minutes. So that's pretty awesome.
What's the cost of the material, and then how much you're selling for? So what are your margins in the business?
So this is $25 to print with a set of 2. We're doing an early bird right now for $30, so it's $5. And then after the first 25 or so, it'll go to 50. So we'll make $15 for $25.
You guys set up a site besides Kickstarter, and what does it say on the tags?
We did not set up a site, but we wanted to do no code this weekend. And on the tag, on the front, on this one, it says the dog's name, and on the tag, it'll have the owner's name, the phone number, and people want to put their hands for it all.
Nice. Thank you so much.
All right, next up is Friend Punch and Chronicle. You are on deck. Chronicle, if you guys want to come up here, you're on deck.
Frodo and Sam, Snoopy and Tweety Bird, Wayne and Garth, longtime friends, and they always get together, but not all the time, always. Sometimes they have problems and issues, and they may want to resort to violence when they have these problems. And that violence can be painful, to actually punch somebody. We found in our extensive market research that 3 out of 4 people would punch a friend. So we decided to solve this problem virtually with an app that lets you punch your friend, but pain-free, so that you don't have any lasting effects and you're not going out to jail. So let's show you Punch a Friend. Punch a Friend will ship default with 6 faces that you can pick on. And all you do is just tap or swipe the screen to hit them. So we're going to take 6 pictures. Normal. Turn your head to the left. Turn it to the right. Go back like you got an uppercut. Then go back like you got hit in the nose. Now you're knocked out. Now let's go beat you up. Friend Punch will be free in the App Store. 99 cents to unlock is to actually punch your friends. And we want to make a crap ton of money. That's the main problem we want to solve, is we want to be rich.
How can you tie it so that you can import all your Facebook friends and you can punch all those guys out? Is there a link that you can connect all of your social media into your app and just drag them all in?
So that's a future idea, because right now we have to take the 6 pictures with them turning to make it work correctly, but we think we can probably do some good core image manipulation with just 1 picture, and you can, and through the app, do that, because that would be awesome. You just download them off your Facebook and knock your heart's content. So for a weekend, a little too much, but in the plans, yeah.
At first, I was really cool. Do you anticipate any sort of backlash from parents or teachers or Ask.fm and the bullying crap that goes on there? Any ideas there?
I imagine there would be some, and maybe we'll add a little note to the little pop-up that says, "Would you really punch your friend?" And if they click yes, maybe direct them like an anger management website, or send a text to their parents that say, "Don't talk to your kids; they're being a little too angry." I mean, I think you have that with just about any kind of violent game, though, and hopefully they just see the fun nature of it, and it, you know, if you really want to get upset, do the game and you'll laugh and you won't be mad anymore.
All right, next up is Chronicled, and refer me. You're on deck.
Okay, so we came together with this idea about how to better chronicle family stories, just kind of a personal thing with me wanting to connect and kind of report things to my mom. And the first thing we found out when we got the team together was we started figuring out why people were on the team. And the reason why everybody came to that team is because they felt like they had a personal story that really resonated to them about a story they may have lost with a loved one or a story they've had with their kids that they didn't capture. Everybody had these collective stories. So we broke for the night and we came back together in the morning and we wanted to start gathering some information about what people were looking for, kind of how people would feel about a product like this. So one of the first things one of our groups of teams did is they went out and shot a bunch of film. And they recorded a bunch of people at the mall and just all around. And so we're going to show just a little bit of what we got back. I think we're not going to show all of it, but some of it so you can get a feel for the kind of things we were seeing coming back from being out there. And some of it was with us as well. It does sound like it, but.
Pull your volumes all the way down.
Yeah, it's not, but.
All of it is going down. You hold the microphone up to it.
They were the way they act, the way they said, the funny stories they tell, things like that. So when my daughter was 18 months old, she was eating some zucchini soup, and I was so excited about it, and it was squealing and giggling, and it was just loving life. And being able to share that video with her now, when she's 7 years old, and in 10 years when she's 17, it's going to be a really awesome part of her life experience of seeing what she was like when she was younger, how she grew up, and turned into who she is.
My grandmother passed away a long time ago, and she did keep a journal, so that was cool to have that, but I mean, nothing beats videos. I'm actually a historian.
So just for the sake of time, we're going to stop here. But basically the point was there was amazing stories that came back. And basically universally, everyone was super interested in, this is the first box right here? Thanks. So everyone's really interested in this idea of being able to share and record stories. So we sent out a survey. We got over 100 people responding back from that survey. And what we found out is over 90% of the people who responded said, hey, if I had a way to chronicle stories of my family, I would totally do it. And we got a ton of great stories back. Like my parents were born in Italy, and I had my grandfather was in World War II, and my kid did this. So the next question, the follow-up was, have you done this? And 50% of the people who said, or less. So they hadn't had a chance to do this. You can go over to the next one, right? So it begs the question of what is going on? Why are so many people wanting to do something like this and they can't? And we got responses like just next arrow or tap next or something. Or go down to the bottom and click over, or almost done it. Yeah, I don't know, it's okay. So the question was, why is this happening? Why aren't people recording this stuff? And the answer came back like, hey, it's hard to connect to people. We're too far apart. Technology is really intimidating. Maybe there's not a great place to start. It's complicated. And the biggest thing of all was time. It's very difficult to take the time to do this by myself. A lot of people said I'd start, my mom would start, I would get some information recorded, but I just don't have enough time. So this is when we came back with what we need to do with Chronicled. So Chronicled is a simple tool to record and share video that's collected in a way that sort of group record and share the stories of our lives. So we're going to show you a little bit about our product. Unfortunately, we put our product in Heroku, and it was running like a champ, and then like 30 minutes before, something happened and like tanked our running application. So it runs locally, and we have a couple things going, but we're going to just show you screenshots now because that's what we've got. So the first screen, again, remember, simple. First screen with Chronicled is just connecting you with Facebook. Once we're in Facebook, we're on a Chronicled dashboard. Dashboard's where I go and I see all the people I'm tracking with and I'm chronicling on my profile. So I'm going to click Chronicle. I'm going to start tracking with someone. So I'm going to chronicle on a person. Of course, I'm going to start chronicling on Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale and I go way back. Clearly, just a strictly physical relationship there. So once I click Kate Beckinsale, now I'm going to add some people who might also want to chronicle with me on Kate Beckinsale. So I'm going to invite other people who are going to contribute stories to my Kate Beckinsale story. So now I'm back at my dashboard. Some time's passed. I'm clearly chronicling on 5 people now. You'll notice that I've created 5 chapters of my own, and 14 people are actively adding chronicle stories onto me. So we're going to go in and say, you know what, let's make our first video. We want to start contributing.
Is this an app, a website, what kind of services?
I think that the thing we got back principally is the big transformation technologies on video phones. So I think the expedience of usage really, I think, puts first and foremost on the phone. But I think you need a web experience probably to consume content across and kind of contribute on. So I would say principally the recording device on the phone and then the extended experience on the phone. I also think it's an interesting place for this kind of product on different destination points like televisions. And we can tell you more if we talk about that.
You guys charge for the app?
You know, I think, like candidly, I think I wouldn't charge initially. I think there's a ton of ways to charge for it. I think there'd be a really great idea about trying to be the sort of Instagram of Ancestry.com. I think that's to me, it's a very interesting space of like, let's just dovetail this thing right into, let's drag a whole bunch of users, dovetail into a product like Ancestry. That the problem they have is what we were reporting back is that, gosh, Ancestry is great, but it's boring for me. I don't want to engage in it. This is much more the experience of stories rather than sort of the factual data of stories. And that's more compelling, I think, quicker.
Can you go back in time? So can you ask those to your great grandmother?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. So you could totally jump onto a Chronicle stack and just upload it, like snap your video photo. Yep.
How many people can contribute into one story in a social collaboration mode? Is it limited by the number of people?
Yeah, no, so the way we have it right now, that's actually one of the coolest things that we really wanted to solve for was people saying, gosh, my cousins live in New Zealand, hard to connect to them. So one of the biggest things we want to solve for, time and distance. So the great thing about a Chronicle is once you send an invite, they're adding to that same person's Chronicle. You can add as many people as if your group wants to add to that person, and then you can group collaborate. One of the great examples Blake said is his daughter. He's got all these videos of his daughter at sporting events, and then sometimes his mom takes his daughter to sporting events. It's very hard to sync those things together in a shared thing. Another thing that was really interesting too is I mentioned of tumbling. So I actually really wanted to point out what happened here with the proposal, which was awesome. But the problem with those kind of moments, they get lost in tumbles on Facebook. And you basically just kind of get blurred out. And then how is that moment captured and shared across the rest of your family? It's a big problem. So being able to thread people together on like a chapterized topic where they're actively like contributing, but it's not a tumble feed where things just get lost and everywhere, is I think a really interesting thing that people brought up as a concern around like how Facebook works.
All right, next up is Refer Me and Cache Age. You are on deck. Cache Age.
Start with 3. Start 3, 2, 1.
All right, so you've all been in this situation before. I am looking for someone that can do really cool things that I need done. Do any of you know anybody that can do really cool things?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really cool things.
Charlie, who do you know?
I know Bryant.
Bryant? Bryant? What can you do, Bryant?
I'm a marketer. Watch out.
I need a marketer.
He can do marketing.
Can I hire you?
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Statistically, he's more likely to be there in 3 years than any other hire.
So oftentimes you refer your friends to jobs or opportunities that you can't fulfill yourself, but they can, and you're left high and dry with nothing to show for it. Businesses need those referrals though, because they rely on them, because they don't have the time or the resources to dedicate to pouring over hundreds of applications at a time, trying to find the right fit for their culture with the right skills to boot. Refer Me is an application that will allow companies to go online, they can post a job, and then they can choose whether that job is going to be blasted to the entire Refer Me network, or if they want to just keep it simple and indicate who they want to share it with. So if it's an organization you want to share it with, or just your personal friends, you can definitely drop it into it. If I'm a consumer, I'm on Refer Me, I can log in and I can see the entire Refer Me referral board, where I can go and refer my friends for jobs by dragging and dropping them if they're qualified. Or I can just view jobs that are on there and call friends about it. And then if you're a company, you can go back in and you can see what referrals have been brought into your job. In a list where you can see their resume, where they're from, and their social networks, that kind of thing. We surveyed over 100 people all over the world, and 90% of them had referred somebody else for a job, and 88% of them had been referred for a job. It was really obvious to us, people love helping others out, even though most of the time they're not compensated for it, even though most of the time companies will pay internal employees and even offer incentive and pay thousands of dollars for headhunters to find these referrals. The referrals only account for 70% of the applicant pool. They end up being 40% of the hires, and they stay, the firms are more likely to stay 3 years or longer than applicants that just passively apply. We are basically just taking that referral fee and allowing everybody access to it. So if a company wants to, they can blast a job out, and you. The company pays us, and we pay you a portion of that fee. That's it.
How do you guys think about ensuring that you don't have false positives? I mean, I get resumes from 10 different people, and I know there's 5 of them that I like and 5 of them that don't send me anything good.
So you're the job poster. You can choose what qualifies a referral for you. So if I'm a referrer or a facilitator, I go in and I put a referral on your job, and it has to qualify. You have to know them personally. You have to vouch for their work. They have to have this degree, so they have to check off the box that says yes, they qualify in this way, so that you don't sift through those that aren't working.
Do you guys import data from LinkedIn, or how do you actually see the data for the people that are in the system?
So right now, we're actually working with GitHub, and so you can import it directly from GitHub. Our plan is also we're working with APIs from LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, so that companies can choose. Many companies don't want to get the data from Facebook if you ask for a referral, but many do, and so you'll have those options in there.
Are there similar projects on the market right now, and have you guys used any of them? Have you heard of them being used?
So there are a few social referral platforms out there, Sendify being one, JobBite being another, and they do a similar thing, but they don't work in the same way we do, where our service is free until a company makes a great hire. Then they pay that referral fee, and they work a lot of times, and they will charge for job posting or charge a monthly fee, and a lot of times they only work with one service or company.
How much would you guys keep from that referral fee for yourselves?
So generally we're going to keep about 30% of the referral fee for ourselves, and it'll be defined based on company size and worth that kind of thing.
Awesome. Next up we have CashAge and Beehive, who are on deck. And just a reminder for anyone who's tweeting or doing anything, Instagram, use hashtag SWOgden. We are in a global hashtag battle.
CashAge is an entrepreneurial program that enables kids of all ages to learn how to be successful within their own local community. When I was 14, for example, my older sister worked within a company and they allowed me to go out and sell glow sticks at Sugar House Park. I got paid an hourly, plus there was a bonus of $300 for the person that sold the most, and I outsold everybody by 3 tubes. I blew it out of the water, they didn't expect it, and I ended up walking home with a cool $480 cash, which I thought was pretty cool. However, if I had had cash age at that age, I'd probably own the company by now. So cash age is an opportunity for kids to go out and learn how to make money using their own skills and talents and be successful or fail based on actual application. So let's see what a couple teachers in our local community had to say about cash age.
I think that kids would respond positively to cash age because half of my math curriculum is teaching kids currency and to understand just what a coin is worth. I mean, kids can really struggle with it. A quarter of my math textbook is teaching kids money.
Kids learn best by actually doing. If kids see a real world value to something, then they'll do it. It's when they don't make the connection to how this impacts their real life outside of school that you start to lose kids. I teach business and technology. I mean, I'm teaching 13 and 14-year-olds, and they want to do this stuff. Last year, a teen entrepreneurship class did not exist at my school. And this year I have 80 kids taking it. These are kids that are taking it as an elective.
They are really wanting the responsibility. They're ready to take on that responsibility. They're willing to show what they're made of. And they want to come back to the classroom and say, this is what I did. They're personally connected to it because it's them who confirmed it. They've got things that they're working towards.
Kids learn by doing. Having a site that has, the concepts written out that kids can go and learn or videos, and then giving them an easy way to go and do that, that's an awesome idea, because then they can take those principles and go and apply them in the moment, and that's when they're actually learning.
I can imagine kids getting really excited about that. When kids get it and they can apply it personally, they've already done the practice, so when they come into a classroom, it's a no-brainer. They've already had so much practice doing it. They're going to be able to come back into the classroom and basically just be rock stars. I think that's a really good concept.
As a teacher, I'm always looking for resources that I can use to get my students excited about business, especially the entrepreneurship side of business. So I would definitely use cash age.
Our free service provides ideas, tips, and training for kids to just launch whatever level they're at, whether they're making leaves for their neighbors and need a pre-designed flyer, or whether they want to learn how to use infographics, articles, and videos to promote their own ideas and talents. We like to keep up on the latest trends because it's changing all the time. And so what we've done is realize that kids learn in all different ways. So what we like to do is make sure that we have infographics, videos, pictures, and content in order to make sure that everybody that wants to learn the lesson can learn in a way that actually suits them. For example, Black Friday's coming up. Teach your kids how to be an affiliate marketer for Amazon. It's super simple. The hottest item of the year they can make a few bucks on. My little daughter, I would love to teach her. She loves making money, and I'd like to give her something that she can hand out. So subscription services would offer advanced tools, and here's what kids had to say about cash age.
like that your domain was live with content. That's really neat. So you guys make money by subscription tools?
So we do have a subscription-based tool, and then we're also going to be so similar to what we're going to teach the kids, if they want to jump off and sign up for a GoDaddy page or buy a book off of Amazon from us, we'll make money off affiliate marketing. The idea is honestly to teach kids to do what we're all here to do, and we'll make a little bit on the side, but like affiliate marketing and subscriptions is something that we do.
I like the video.
Thank you.
Well, as a dad of 3 daughters, I'm not sure I want my daughters spending money. Yeah, that could be it.
Yeah, I have 2 girls myself, trust me.
So, as you think about the payment process component, if there's not a square that exists, how do they pay? How do the customers pay the kid?
Excellent question. So the cool thing about what our program is it's all content driven. I'm a marketing consultant and I can teach people how to make money in a lot of different ways without ever even using anything other than PayPal. I can teach you how to affiliate market, resell other people's products and services. I can teach you how to sell your parents timeshare for $100,000 a year. However, scaling it and what they're interested in and basing it off of a model based on what your interests are and what your abilities are, and then scaling there. But realistically, we're just an educational-based tool. We're not really providing the framework to create an account or jump off to an account. We're just giving them the education they need and being an affiliate marketer, while also giving them a subscription-based services to advanced tools like free QR codes or email services or advanced templates that they can use to market their business.
Can children leave do work?
Have you been to California? Miley Cyrus was how? No, just kidding. Sorry, Wrecking Ball is in my head and it's just been there forever. But yes, here's the thing: is teachers and parents. We've surveyed about 80% of people said that yes, they would pay to have their kids learn about making money, and yes, they would sign off on being economically responsible. And you can make up to $600 a year without tax benefits. And honestly, I have 2 kids. If they make $600 a year, yes. And if they make $700, I'll be happy to pay the taxes. So there will be a disclaimer once they sign in. Once they hit $600 a month, we're going to tell them up front because they're not making the money from us, but we will educate them on that fact that we're not legally or liably responsible for any of that stuff. We're just teaching them how to make money. We don't care if they go do it or don't do it. Cool.
So we had an intermission scheduled after this next team, but I think we're moving along. Is everyone all right if we skip the intermission and just keep going? Awesome. So Beehive is up and later is on deck.
Alright, so my name is Clint Betts. We're with Beehive Startups, which is a website dedicated to covering the Utah startup scene. We just launched for Startup Week in Ogden, so it's pretty awesome. We came to Startup Week in Ogden with a problem, and that problem is time. And we want to free up our reporters and our journalists as much as possible to actually be creating high quality content, creating amazing stories and amazing podcasts, things like that, without having to really work too hard on the technology and actually accomplish that. And so our goal today and this weekend was to have a podcast where our reporters could call in and they could conduct an interview, and the moment they hang up, it automatically generates a fully produced podcast. And I'll let Gabe kind of explain where we're at on that. I think we're fairly close, and he can kind of explain all technology behind it.
Fairly close is a euphemism for we failed in creating it. However, we are super close. I'll take you through what we've got, give you a better sense of it. What we have is you call into a phone switch. The phone switch knows who you're supposed to be interviewing with. It calls them. You're dropped into a conference and you have 6 segments. We're not going to go through all of them. But you press the button to advance through each segment. The server then looks at the logs and parses that conversation, pulling out only the pieces of the conversation that are on the record and throws away the rest so you can have a casual conversation with the person you're interviewing before the time. So we had it all working except for the very last piece, and I skipped dinner and I was sitting out in my car. But what we'll show you is the pieces that we got at this point. So anyway, I would start by making a call and put on speaker while it shows up.
Please enter the conference PIN number.
Bad habit. The PIN was 801. I've changed it since. One moment.
Please enter the conference PIN number. You are currently the only person in this conference.
So this is where the other person joins us, but we're not going to do it for demonstration's sake. We hit 1. It flags the call at a certain point, and so then later on we parse each section of the call when they hang up. That's when the magic really happens, or it doesn't in our demo's case. But this was programmatically generated with our sample clips. I'll just give you a small sense of how it looks like. So Clint did not know that this would be playing to everybody when you're recording.
Welcome to Beehive Startup, a podcast devoted to covering the startups.
Anyway, we won't bore you with all of that, but it's kind of fun as technologists and community participants and members. We thought it'd be a fun project, and there's some commercial application. A lot of people lack these specific or particular skills, and this would be easy to integrate into WordPress blogs where you simply consume their API. You don't have to store the media or anything, you push it up there. It'd be easy to integrate Amazon or whatever it is you'd like to do. So one of the beauties is I think there's a pretty low, the operational costs are pretty low. You can have 1 DID. I pay a penny a minute for these conversations. And unless this service is being used, there are no costs, so I think it scales pretty well. So with 56 seconds, we yield the floor. Generous, you guys, thank you.
I travel around to a lot of startup communities, and I think it's a really important part to have a local press outlet. It's generally, I mean, I don't know how you guys are as far as your tone. Do you want to be completely positive about Utah, completely positive about startups, completely positive about, you know, just the people in this room, or are you going to be this objective journalist?
So we're fairly positive generally as people, but we will be objective. But at the same time, we want to promote Utah as much as possible. I mean, if a company fails, we're not going to sugarcoat it, if that makes sense.
Also, you're in an industry with 96% failure, so like to be a fail, you know, to be a startup. Yeah, I mean, but like, fail. I actually take people out. If you fail, if you're a friend of mine or I know your company and you fail, I take you out to an acquisition or non-acquisition dinner. So we go out to the nicest restaurant in town. It's costing me several $1,000s, but I think it's important that we all celebrate together.
We agree. We love to back entrepreneurs that have failed once. They make more money on their second one than they did their first one. But you talked about you can have a casual conversation. How do you ensure that you don't get the false positives, that something slips in and gets broadcasted that you don't want out there, to ensure that whatever it's cutting out, how do you do that?
The piece of the demo that we cut for time's sake was there's a lead, and once you press the button, it makes it pretty clear that you're entering the next segment, and then there's a tone, and then you're fairly confident at that point that communication that's happening is on the record. And you hit pound and it stops it, and there's another tone. So it's pretty clear. The one problem that's along the same lines that you're thinking about is we have it set up so that when you hit end the call, it goes right then right to the server. So it's possible somebody may have some regrets or may need to cooling down period. These are things that we've considered, but we're far too sophisticated than even the piece we've tried to accomplish in a short period.
Two questions, but first I really like that you guys are trying to create some tech for the actual publishing industry. The first is, can you tell me a little bit more about the technology you wrote to create that? And then second, do you guys have any plans to transcribe those conversations so people can read them and get SEO?
That's fantastic. The SEO is far from my heart as a technologist. I don't think about those things naturally. The technology is not using Twilio or any of the other hosted telephony platforms. We installed a fresh instance of FreeSwitch that we got here. It's probably one of the reasons we didn't get it done, because I tried to do it as quickly as possible using Bash. That should cause some people to frown. I should have gone with Python, my most comfortable and strongest language, and I thought this is going to be quick and dirty. The further we got into it, the more complicated it got, and we got bit by Bash. So, yeah, if anyone has telephony questions, I'm a huge geek and I love it to death, so thank you.
Does anyone lose a phone ink?
Alex. You're out. I just slide back to this. Is it worth anything?
All right, so next up we have later, and Convey, you are on deck. Convey, you are on deck.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Nick Walter, and I'm representing the later team. And the problem that we solved was a personal one. That's how it started. I'm a night owl, and I'm up at wee hours of the night, and I found that you can't text your family and friends at 2 a.m. They get mad. I don't know what your mom's like, but if I text her after her bedtime and her phone goes off, it's suddenly my problem that her phone was on loud. So this was a problem for me, and we did some market research and found a lot of other people have this problem just like I do. We interviewed over 15 people. About 70% said they were missing this kind of thing in their life. And in addition to that, they said, well, I don't want to just schedule texts, I want to schedule tweets, emails, phone calls that I have to make when they're more timely. So our groups thought that the best way to solve this problem was through an iOS app. And that's what we spent the weekend working on, and we have a working demo for you that we'd love to show off. So I'll step to the side of the projector here, and here's our later app. Does anyone think I look like Cameron?
Yes.
I was him for Halloween. So we'll go and open the later app, and here's kind of a queue of messages that we have queued up. There's also some tweets, and just kind of things that need to be sent or already sent, and let's go through actually making a message. So we'll click on a message bubble, make a new message, and this will tell us, okay, when do you want to send it? We have some hot buttons for in the morning, afternoon, evening. Of course, you can set a specific time. And we also have this feature to send it automatically. So with this switched on, we can send it whether we're here or not, whether our phone's on, off, whatever. So we'll go ahead and hit next for our message. And we'll send this to myself so that we can see it. And let's just say, hey. So we'll schedule that text. When we hit schedule, that goes out to our server. It tells us that a message needs to be sent right now. And look at that. That came from our server live right now. That's a quick preview of the app. something we really wanted to do but didn't get to this weekend was kind of geofencing things. So when I leave work, text my wife that I'm coming home, or when I get to school, remember to talk with the counselor that I need to apply for graduation. So kind of leveraging geolocation things is something we'd love to move on to. So that's the app demo, and we're going to switch now to our other teammate, Colton, who is going to talk about how we think we can make money with this and kind of the future of where we'd like to go.
So our business model is simple. Our two target markets are the consumer, people who want to communicate the right thing at the right time, as well as businesses, companies that want to reach out to their employees, to their customers, to bring them into their online stores or their physical stores. So as for the consumer model, we're going to release a free app on the App Store, and they're going to have 200 free text messages. If they want more than that, then they can upgrade to the Pro app that we have, which is going to be $10 a month, and that'll bring in steady revenue. Moving on to our business model, businesses will have the capability to basically automate their communication by sending text messages to their employees. For example, reminding people to buy supplies for whatever project they might be on, sending just one text message and boom, everybody knowing about it. So we'll have 10,000 text messages on one plan, 20,000 on another plan. And we've priced at 50 and 100 per month, and that's just the number thrown out there. We'll validate that. So moving on, we've created a website called getlaterapp.co, and we'd like all of you to go to this website right now and put down your email so you can receive updates regarding the app, and so you can eventually schedule your own text and basically automate your own digital life. This is later, and that's it.
I really like that you guys have a site live and an iOS demo. It's pretty impressive. Very serious question. Will you guys accept emojis?
Yes. All anything that can be sent to Unicode.
All right.
Do you have any sense for how many people would pay on the individual side versus the free? Any ideas? I mean, are there over 200 texts that get sent after midnight or something like that?
I did involve that when we reached out and were talking with people. And I mean, really, we looked at a lot of different ways that maybe we could kind of do that pricing. So, I mean, this is something that was new to us, so we don't know what that level is. We've also thought about centrally scheduled texts, tweets, emails, maybe just limiting the amount of things you can have in your queue until you have to go to photos, and that might be a better way to do that. But we're still really open.
So what happens when your mom texts you back at 8 a.m.?
So, that is something I've experienced. I think that's why you've got to live with either choosing to go automated or go yourself. And there's a lot of value in going yourself. Because there are, I had one situation where I scheduled a text for 9. My brother sent me something at 8:30, and then at 9:30, why are you talking about? And so,
What other apps can you integrate with? Twitter is an easy one. Facebook, Snapchat. What else? What's feasible?
I think big ones are email and then phone calls. That's on the phone. Other services. Ones that I could come up with was Instagram. I think would be great when I'm trying to keep photos. Snapchat.
Buffer is pretty popular with scheduled tweets and Facebook posts. Do you have any idea why they haven't scheduled text messages?
I think it's just not their thing. They're focusing more on social profiles. We kind of want to do the same thing for businesses, but using text. So basically allow them to stockpile text that they might want to send out. Send it at the right time.
Cool. right, so Coin Convey is up, and next up is Story Twist. Story Twist, you are on deck.
All right, my name is John Barnes, and this is Mike Taylor, and we represent Coin Convey, and we want banks to be among the first to be able to offer and transact in Bitcoin for their customers. Many technologies are disrupting the way banks currently do business, and as a result, banks are losing customers, they're losing deposits, and they're losing revenue. So we have developed a technology, and developed technology that will allow banks to have transact in Bitcoin. So customers will be able to trade their Bitcoin, but it will always retain in US dollar currency, so there's no risk. And that will allow customers or banks to increase deposits and maintain their revenue as well as their customer base. So we're going to demonstrate how that Bitcoin transaction works right now.
So what we have, we've got Marty here, and he's logged into his America First credit union account in his web banking. And our software is white label software that banks can easily integrate into their online banking. So right here, we added this tab, Bitcoins, at the top. All right, so Marty can see here a list of his transactions that he's conducted in Bitcoin. New users would first get some education in this About tab before they saw all of that, so they understand what it is. Now, one of the major things that we're trying to solve here is Bitcoin is an awesome technology. Look, it offers things that we've never been able to do before, being able to send money anywhere in the world, really low transaction fees, virtually nothing, very quick settlement. But one problem that it has is it's very volatile, its price. So if Marty wanted to receive Bitcoins here in his bank account, he could receive, and what we're doing is someone can send him Bitcoins, and it instantly in the background converts it to cash and deposits it into his account. So then Marty just holds cash in an institution he trusts, he's familiar with, and it's handling security for him. So you'll see he currently has a balance of $10,000. Or if Marty wants to deal in Bitcoin, or pay a vendor in Bitcoin, or pay a friend, and have all the advantages of really low fees and very fast transaction, he can pay straight out of his account without having to buy Bitcoin first or wait for that to happen. He can just instantly hit send to an email address or straight to a Bitcoin address. And at the time of sending, he converts the cash in his account to Bitcoin and sends it. So let's try that right now. This is the software that we've built. So go to receive. So I've got some Bitcoin loaded up in my Bitcoin wallet here. This is the official Bitcoin client for Android. And Marty is going to ask me to pay him. So he's going to send an email to a dummy email address we set up for here. He's asking me to pay him $59, and I don't know if you saw this, but it said exactly how much Bitcoin that would amount to. Okay, the money's been requested. He's going to check his email now. There it is. Okay, and it says hey there, you've been requested to send some Bitcoin in this amount, so scan this QR code or send to this address. So QR codes make this simple. Let me just see if okay, there's the QR code. Here's the amount, and let's see, 59, and send. Okay, watch this account balance here. There we go. Transaction showed up right here. Now, this has never been able to be done before, where you can receive a payment and instantly have cash. I can go to the bank as soon as this transaction finishes confirming and get that. So let me just tell you really quick about some of our validation. We talked yesterday to the CEO of Cyprus Credit Union, and he's heard a lot about Bitcoin and he's really excited about it. And he told us that he wants to meet. He also said he could introduce us to a group of 12 credit unions that he's a part of, and we could present there. And he wants to find out what roadblocks might be there and help us resolve those. We also talked to the VP of Zion's, a regional VP, and she pointed us and said that
She really thinks Bitcoin is the future. They recently had a meeting about Bitcoin at their annual Bankers Association conference. And finally, we talked to the CTO of a credit union here. So lots of interest. Nobody told us no. We're really excited about that. Finally, who here wants free Bitcoins? We're going to hand out free Bitcoins to everyone here in a paper
wallet. So as you guys take the Bitcoin, you move it to cash. Who actually holds the Bitcoin and assumes the risk of the volatile currency?
Good question. The Bitcoins get sold at an exchange. So we have an API, and we've actually built that as well, even though we're not currently connected into a bank transactor right now. That's going to be the work to be done once the bank is sold on it. But it'll sell, and then we'll have to do settlement later through a traditional means like a wire transfer. But we can instantly settle to the customer on the spot. So it actually sells through an exchange.
Can you tell me a bit about how much you guys built this weekend, and was this all built on the site here?
Yep, we did this from scratch. We conceptualized a lot of it. We're Bitcoin fanatics, several of the people on our team. And so we've been talking about doing this for a long time, and we've decided to go for it. And so we had a lot of the conceptual down. And so yeah, we built it and it's mostly working. We don't have the send part working, and there's more security issues to be solved with that. But the receive is really easy, and we've constructed a way that we can receive into what's called frozen wallets, so there's no possibility of them being hacked.
So how do you guys make money?
Great question. So there will have to be a setup fee for the banks to do the custom programming required to interface with their core processor. And then we expect to make money either on a monthly basis, like based on users, or we could also make money possibly on taking a small cut of every transaction. The banks.
I just want to hear your thoughts on this. I think the allure of Bitcoin is kind of this anti-bank, and the banks seem interested. You're going to give the business of enterprise software with kind of an anti-enterprise software product at its core. How do you get around that, and how do you explain it to your customer?
Sure. Bitcoin does have that kind of an origin, but that's not to say that it can't be used in some very professional settings, and in fact, it's needed, we believe. So, and there's a whole bunch of emerging things around this. There's real players starting to get into doing exchanges. There's people, venture capital is already headed this way in this industry. So we think it can fit there, and also we think banks have an advantage because they already have a trust relationship with customers. Right now, one of the biggest barriers to adoption is the fact that you have to deal with a lot of people that aren't necessarily trustworthy. Whereas if your bank is handling that for you, so they have an advantage there, and we believe that it's going to disrupt their industry, and so if they don't get into it, it'll disrupt it. And one final thing, they already have regulatory reviews in place that they have to follow because of regulation, and so they already have a leg up on other potential people that want to get into the space because they already have anti-money laundering rules and know your customer rules that they're following.
All right, Story Twist Up and Not Dead Yet is on deck.
Hi everyone, we're Story Twist, and our team wanted to solve the problem, how do you get kids to love to read? Most of us are parents, and in today's digital age, kids are just scattered with information. It's hard to get them to settle down and love and enjoy reading. So we thought about what if Mad Libs meets Choose Your Own Adventure. Do you remember the days when you got to pick your adventure, make those choices, and get really engaged in your learning? So we actually launched our demo today. This prototype is actually up and live. Storytwist.co, you can go check it out. And just keep in mind, this is actually built with a scalable platform. So we didn't hack some static images with Balsamiq or anything. We're actually going to show you a live scalable demo off of this. We would love to take you through a demo. So Andrew, can we pick on you? Great. So Andrew, what character do you love? Okay. What do you love? Pretzels, Oreos, or pizza? Okay, yum. We're gonna start your story, and for the sake of time, we're not gonna read all the content, but just Andrew, do you want to follow the road or take the jungle shortcut? Okay, that's not safe, but okay. Climb a tall tree or follow the river? Okay. Great. Do you want to help the nibbles or do you want to hurry along? Hurry. Okay. Are we going to climb a tree or follow the river? Climb. There you go. Keep walking. Oh, you swarm of bees. Okay. But as you keep going through the story, it changes every time. If Ian drives back, he'll show you that there's the gurgler. So some of you have heard about the gurgler. So this is a really engaging story. I'm going to let Blaine talk more about our customer validation.
Great. And excuse the ugly PowerPoint slides. I figured that wasn't the point of this exercise today, right? Woo! Yes. So you may have seen kids running around here a couple times, and maybe instead of talking about the kids that we did talk to, we talked with many kids that came in, did 4 hours, went out across the street to the bowling alley and tested with kids. In Tennessee, you played with the book for about 20 minutes. Did you like it? Did you like it more than reading a normal book? You did. Where's Hunter? Okay. She played with it for about 20 to 30 minutes, and she's not yet old enough to read really well. Did you like playing with the book, Hunter? Yeah. And she kept. If you go through the end, at the end you can buy new stories, or when we go on, we can talk about the business model more. But you can buy new stories, or you have a limited number of tries with this story, and people really want to know more, so you then have to buy the story. One of our other great experiences talking with customers was this man down on the left-hand side. When we came up and talked to him, I thought, man, he might get a biker and he could come and get me. But his girl was really cute, and he was awesome. And she came up and sat on his lap, and they were bowling. And instead of continuing to bowl, they read this book for like 5 minutes, and then after 2 or 3 pieces in, he's like, "This is awesome. Where can I buy it?" And every parent that we've talked to said, "Where can we buy this? And how much would it cost to get this?" And so far, we have about 60 signups. We've just barely pushed it live, and we'll do it after this. Then we start pushing more people to decide to try it out. Again, everybody's wanted this, and they've all been willing to pay for it so far. So the big question around this for us is, this is something that kids love, but how do you find it in the app store? How do you become aware of it? There's an awareness problem. And then it's also a challenge to monetize this app sometimes. So we've come up with what we think is a great model to grow this business. So the first thing, when you download the app, we have 3 free tries. And this allows you to go through 2 different stories. Now there's thousands and thousands in one little world that different storylines that you can experience. After you go through it twice, you want to know more, but then you have to pay $2.99 to be able to keep going through the story. Additionally, we've built this very scalable. I'm not a developer myself, but the platform that we've built allowed me to go in and create my own story, pull in the design, and all that. And granted, we didn't do great design work in 2 days, but it's an awesome platform that we can build on. So it's easy to create new stories, and parents would pay for that. Additionally, we would allow them to personalize characters. That would cost 99 cents per character. Alternatively, if we go back real quick, how do we share it? How do we get this to grow? So we can post it. So the new characters or additional accessories would be given or unlocked when you post it to social network and get other people to join. We go on. Now there's other things out there, but nothing compares to Story Twist. We downloaded it after over an hour to look at what else is out there.
First, I love that it was live and that you guys demoed it on iPad, because I know kids love iPads. So that's really cool. Well done. Who did the artwork, and how did you guys create all of that in a weekend?
So we actually pulled just clip art for this demo. One of the interesting things is could you make it scalable to let people create their own art and create their own books, right, and customize it to their kids. So we did. We had amazing designers that pulled it together. I mean, that was, for 2 days, that was a pretty awesome job.
Did you look at any sort of crowd designing, back in the day, LogoWorks did it with logos, but could they put it in there and then make money? Is that part of how you guys are thinking about it?
Yeah, that's a great idea, and that goes to this platform that we've developed and we think you could build on. Now, one thing that you have to weigh out is consistency in design. If people start creating all their own images, you might have inconsistent design, which could be a challenge. I think we could overcome that, but that's down the road.
More of a general question, does this have to make money? I mean, can you find a nonprofit that's goal is to educate kids, and instead of having these apps that just try to upsell kids, just be great stories with parents?
I think you absolutely could, but I think what's intriguing is some of the possibilities that you can do with this when you think about the data that you can collect with this, especially if you open it up to parents and some of the psychometric data that you can collect and not necessarily sell it, but use it, right? Can you scale it to make authorship, which is a completely different business model where you're more selling the platform, subscriptions to the platform, rather than just becoming a content creator or provider yourself. So all sorts of possibilities.
So this is Startup Weekend, and part of the pitch is how do you make money with it. But I agree, I think it's a great idea.
All right, next up is Not Dead Yet, and on deck is Statiq.
This is Aaron Ralston. On October 23, there we go. On April 26, 2003, he went canyoneering in Blue John Canyon. He didn't tell anyone where he was going. He didn't tell them when he would be back. And this is what happened to him. He got stuck in the canyon with a chalk stone on his arm. He was in there for 127 hours with 12 ounces of water, 2 burritos, and a dull multi-tool. So we created an app this weekend that really could have helped in that situation. It's called notdeadyet.co. It's available as a responsive web app, an iPhone native app, an Android app, and Windows Phone 8. And this is how it works. You enter a trip plan as you're planning your trip. It sends a message out to some friends of your choice. While you're on your adventure, it keeps track of your location. Your friends can check in on you. And when you get your expected return time, the system sends you a message saying, "Are you back?" If you respond with a text saying "okay," it deactivates the system. But if you don't respond within an hour, it sends another text to your friends saying there might be a problem, and they can choose whether to call search and rescue. So let's do a live demo. So I'll be showing you the iPhone version of the app. And I'll start by creating a new adventure. So I can put in my destination, what activity I'm doing, start time, etc. I'm going to save that. And then once I've started that adventure, I can go in here and look at it. I can send it to Twitter, Facebook, or email it to my friends. And then I can look at my past adventures. It acts kind of like a journal in that respect. The other cool thing you can do is track your friends that are on their own adventures. So here's Cole at the grocery store. We've got Alex. Oh, he's on Mount Everest. Let's check that out. So let's see where he is right now. We can track him. So he's mountain biking up Mount Everest.
I'm not dead yet.
So he's doing great, and we can show our current position on the map, move it around. And let's say we had to send out a search party for Alex. We can pull up the heads-up display, and hey, there he is, coming down Mount Everest right now. Awesome. And all kidding aside, this could be really useful for the search party. If they don't know how to use a map, they can just follow your last location. So the last thing I'll show you is your list of friends here in the app. And the way we monetize the app is when you return from your adventure, you get rewards from outdoor companies. So I can tap on one of these coupons and get 10% off canyoneering gear when I get back. And the other bonus is if I send this via Twitter or Facebook or email, it doubles the coupon for me and all of my friends. So like I said, we built a responsive web app. It works great on the desktop, the iPad, the iPhone. We also built an Android native app and Windows Phone 8. So what's our competition? We have the Spot at $150 per year, but it's one more thing to carry and pretty expensive. We have Hiker Alert, which is $5 a year, but it's only web-based, no native apps. So our differentiator is we're a free app in the store, which is going to give us 10 times higher adoption. We have native apps, we can do live tracking, and we get paid advertising from sponsors that want to reach out to that target audience. And the great thing is we can show them some good analytics for a positive ROI. So we did the business model canvas, which helped us flesh out the concept. We established our MVP, which we built this weekend, and we've got some great features planned for version 2. And we have 4 basic revenue streams that we're going to try out the door and then throw more effort at the one that does the best. We did some market validation, both with outdoor companies around Utah and with actual potential users. Here's a quote from Craig at the Utah Avalanche Center and Alex with Wasatch Mountain Adventures. And I'll play a little video to show you a little more. Well, basically what they're saying is they love the app. So here's Brandon, he actually says, can I use it this weekend? Because I'm going on a trip. So our go-to-market strategy is it's going to be a free app in 3 different app stores, 3 different platforms. We're going to target Utah outdoor companies, go to the outdoor retailer show. So that's not dead yet. We've got an experienced team, an innovative idea, and validated prototype. Thanks.
I think the only drawback I see is battery life. How do you deal with backcountry and battery life resistance sort of stuff?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the interesting things about our approach to this app is if you look at this timeline, can we get the screen back, Kate? When you enter a trip plan, and the moment you leave on your trip, your plan is already online in the system. So the system sends out a text message to all of your friends saying, hey, right now, today, this guy's heading out on this trip. He's expected to be back tomorrow at noon. So if you don't hear from him, you might want to send out a search party. And then also, even if you're totally offline here, if you don't respond to this "Are you back?" message, the check-in message, within an hour, it's going to send another message out to your friends. So even though your device, fell in the river, we still have multiple redundant systems in place to help save your life.
Did you look at an app called Glimpse to see if that would be competitive to you guys? Okay. It's not for high adventure, but it's for, I'm in the city, I'm trying to connect with my wife. How do I, she's in Chinatown, I'm in Midtown, Manhattan. How do we get back together? What brings us together?
Yeah, okay. We didn't look at that particular one, but another one that we looked at is an Amber Alert type app, like to put a tracking device on your kids. And they actually have a little separate hardware accessory. And I think there are lots of potential integrations down the road where you can get something with a lot longer battery life designed specifically for that purpose that could easily integrate with our software platform.
Can you tell me a little bit about when the phone loses service and you stop tracking where the person's gone, how you guys might do that?
Right. So in the best case scenario, you can when you set up a route, you can put in what the interval is for those breadcrumb trails. If it's a 2-week trip, you don't want it sending an alert every minute, But let's say that 5 hours ago, your battery died, and that was the last time it got a signal out. At least we know your last location, in proximity to where you were, and based on extrapolating from some of the previous points, we might be able to predict your future location. But we're not promoting this as a completely fail-safe way as a push-button eject from the wilderness. We're promoting this as something better than the current alternative, which, Joel, could you tell the story about your brother real quick? Because he sent us this after he found out about the app, and what his story is the alternative for most people.
So my brother lived up Hollow Creek Canyon down in Spanish Fork with his friends. And one of his friends likes to go out their back door because they're in the canyon. And it was January a couple years ago.
he grabs a piece of junk mail and writes down, hey, I'm going to go hiking up to this point, I'm going to ski down, should be home by 5. My brother come home, take a look at the note, says, okay, should be home by 5. By about 6 or 6:30, his roommate isn't home. And they'd already established that if there's something going wrong, so Kurt goes out into the yard, and he shoots his gun off, which echoes throughout the whole canyon. He's supposed to get a return shot, but never came. And so that's when Kurt starts to worry, and he ultimately calls search and rescue, and they found Dave up high. He was hiking, and he hyperextended his knee, and he couldn't move. He was out of cell phone service, so he dug himself a snow cave, and was going to sleep the night away, and he probably actually would have died. But that note saved his life, because they knew right where he was supposed to go, right where he wanted to go. They knew how to find him. The app would have done the same thing, but, you know, much easier than having to find paper.
All right, next up is Statiq, and then our last team, Cryptotrader. You're on deck.
All right. 3, 2. All right. So this is my personal blog. So I kind of said talk about this when I first pitched. Who here hates WordPress? Woo! There's a lot of people that really don't like WordPress. Why do you hate WordPress? Anybody? All right. Okay, so this is my personal blog. This particular post hit the front page of Hacker News, and in 2 hours, I had 11,000 views. Okay, it was at a high traffic time, and it was really phenomenal. But because it's a static blog, it stood up really well. It was always fast the whole time. It loaded for everybody, and never had any problems. And I think that the solution to slow, really sucky WordPress is going to be static blogging. The problem is there's not a lot of static blogging is still inaccessible to a lot of people. It's hard. It's ugly. These are the themes that you can put on a static blog. And installing a static blog is also extremely difficult. So you go to this. So this is some code that you have to put in order to actually install a static blog. You can see it's really difficult, not super easy. And in order to manage the content of your blog, you have to know kind of some special ways to type your code, the title of the post, the date of the post, the author of the post, and it's really raw, kind of difficult. So what we did, we sought to solve these 3 problems. We're going to make them sexy, we're going to make them, we're going to make it easy, and we're going to make it so that you can manage your content. Okay? So this is our website. It's Statiq.io, and we threw it up, and we really wanted to validate right away to see if we were attacking a good market. So we put up a store. This is the store. We made an offer. We said, the first 20 customers that buy from us, we're going to give them all of our themes for free for the rest of life. We sold it for $15, and sold out. Actually, we oversold out. That's okay. In fact, what happened was this is what I do. So we got on the front page of Hacker News again. So we are currently on the front page of Hacker News. We're number 7. And it's driving traffic, and we're getting sales. It's really awesome. This is running total $380. We actually have 15 more that came through PayPal. So this is our shared account. Oh, that's in the wrong place. Let's move that tab a little bit. No. Yeah. So I'm going to show you the product real quick. Sorry that it took me so long to get to the product. This is, go click back. Okay, I'm going to skip. So obviously you can log in, okay? You can log in. There's a login screen, you log in. You get to this page, okay? At this point, the user can attach their Dropbox account. They choose a folder for their content, their drafts, and their themes, and they attach an AWS landing page. So this puts the content into that place, okay? What Corey's done is Corey's linked his Dropbox and his AWS, and then there's this editor, so it's really clean. This is the other piece that we solved. So you don't just edit those raw text files. You actually come in here, you get your tile, your date, your author, your tags, category, layout, select your content, and you hit publish. It actually generates the entire site. Turns it into raw HTML, so it's really secure, really fast, and it puts it on the site. So this, if you hit that publish button, changes the content, and this is actually generated by that. This is our generator made this page. Can you go to the next tab? Well, yeah, let's. We don't have plenty of time. So, my team is phenomenal. They're really, really good. They made this web app and this service really, really quickly. Can we switch it to iPhone? So I didn't want to leave them all the fun. So last night at 8:15, I decided I was going to make an app. And so, yeah, I know my password. So this does the same thing as the web service. So you go to your Dropbox, you can actually pick your content. So you guys just saw this post, for example. So it fills in your content for you from Dropbox. You go over to your content tab, you can see your content, you can edit your content, right? You can actually save it or publish it, depending on what you want to do. And that is the iPhone app. And this is actually submitted to the App Store. Can I, yeah, go ahead.
I like that you guys solved the technical problems over the weekend. Why did you just pick Dropbox? Why not import from WordPress or Tumblr or some of these other content sources where people already have the content published they might want to create this type of thing?
Yeah, so we don't want to use WordPress and Tumblr anymore. This is for say we have clients. So this is Matt. So if you have a client that's like Qualtrics or Marketstar or that, they want to run their blog, and we want to allow them to do SEO and that kind of thing. So these things like Tumblr and Squarespace, they just don't allow that kind of power.
Why not import there as the
So we'll import that. You actually can't import that into our service, and then you live in our service from then on. That's really good.
How much money are you gonna make on this thing? Where's the guy that said he wants to be rich? Here's another one.
So what we'll do is we'll continue to sell themes. There's a lot of people that really want these themes. They want this style. They're really pretty blogs. I mean, this is we've already validated that people are going to buy these themes. The other piece, and this is where we did a lot of market validation on this, is that there are firms that sell logging services for their clients. And the way this is set up, the way our engine actually works, is you can have multiple Dropboxes point to multiple AWSs. So you have a place like HQ, they come in here, and they can set up accounts for each of their clients, where those Dropbox folders can be shared with their clients, the clients can edit the content, and then it can upload over to their blog, and just be completely raw and fast and powerful.
Are you going to post images? Are you going to post in any other medium?
So this is the coolest part about our service is we have offloaded all storage. So you bring your own storage. So you can do FTP, you can do AWS. They're going to store their own content. So that Dropbox is the original content. Our engine turns it into a blog and then stores it on whatever they choose for their landing content.
Last but not least, Cryptotrader.
So first, before I start, I'd like to ask Andrew a question. So many of you guys have heard of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general, but a lot of you haven't got into it it's really technical or it's very volatile. It's just crazy right now. And so a lot of people haven't got into it because they are scared, really. They just don't want to commit money to it. So just to give you an idea, yesterday on November 23rd, $147 million was transferred from one country to another for a total cost of 37 cents. Before, you'd have to get armed trucks and all these crazy things and spend millions of dollars to transfer that money. But using Bitcoin, that one transaction only cost 37 cents. So Bitcoin is literally changing the world. That's why we heard that banks are meeting about it, because they're scared. So basically, we came up with our inspiration for idea from Bitcoinity. This guy built a very simple chart to see the current Bitcoin price, transactions, and he, on this chart alone, right now has 12,000 people who are looking at this chart. That's huge. So we wanted to do something very simple, very effective, very efficient, related to Bitcoin, kind of like this, where we could get a bajillion users and not really have to do anything. So we came up with Cryptotrader. So Cryptotrader is pretty much for anyone from like a Bitcoin noob to a very seasoned pro can trade any sort of cryptocurrency in a simulated environment. So they are not actually spending money. So if we go here, we can show you a login of the functional site that we have built. And here we have pretty much a dashboard. And so you have your wallet, you have the amounts of the cryptocurrencies. We pick Bitcoin, Litecoin, Namecoin, and then US dollars. When you start, you get like $10,000. Pretty much everyone gets the same amount, and you get to trade that. You get to buy Bitcoin, transfer it to Litecoin. And over here, we have all the current prices, the highs, the lows, the averages. So you can basically play around with cryptocurrency and get an understanding of how it works and how much money you could make in this environment without actually having to spend money, which is great. So here we have some transaction history, so you can kind of see what you've done so far to kind of track your progress. And then up here we have the leaderboard. This leaderboard will basically take a look at all the current users in the system, and it can identify the people who had the most success this week, the top gainers, and people like Alex Lawrence who haven't been doing so well this week. We can track these people, and basically there's a little element of gamification where you can try and make your way to the top. So then this is where it gets really good. We came up with this idea, and then Garrett, who is the genius of this team, came up with the idea for monetization. Basically, it's an ad-free, easy-to-use, simple, but really effective trading simulator. And what we do is we are able to track, using the history, the highest performing traders based off their buys and sells, and then we mimic their buying and selling behavior with our actual accounts. So when someone who has been very successful trading on here is buying, we will actually be buying. And when they're selling, we will be selling for reals in our accounts. So we let them do the work for us, and we're able to then profit off of that, so there will be no advertisements, nothing like that. It's kind of like Ender's Game, if any of you have seen that. And yeah, so I came here wanting to have fun and build something cool related to Bitcoin, and we definitely succeeded in that, so thanks everyone.
Yes, I do want to ask a question. Is this live? How close is this to being live? How close are you to launching this?
Hey guys. It's live, but we're not going to give it out yet because a couple of the numbers are messed up if you saw the demo. Like, because right now you could buy a Bitcoin for like 23 cents. So, but yeah, we're basically live. It's like 99% functional.
And if I want to interact on whatever platform, mobile, what have you, all that, are you going to run native in an app, or do I have to launch a browser on my mobile device and interface with you guys?
So I'm not a programmer, but to my knowledge, the site's fully responsive, so it scales to whatever device you're using. If you're using an iPad, it still looks really nice and it's very usable in whatever device you're using, even an iPhone. So it's fully responsive. No, it'll be the website. Yeah, we don't have an app or anything. It would just be on the web.
Now it's on. I like it. How do you guys convince a bunch of people to use this so you get enough sample size you can make some money off those
That's a great question. I think it really just comes down to how well the Bitcoin market, especially the current people who are like really into it, take hold of it. I mean, pretty much my thought behind this was to push it out as far as we can. I'm very good friends with Austin Craig, who did Life on Bitcoin. They lived off Bitcoin only, him and his wife, for 100 days. And doing that, they built a very, very large following. So I'm going to push it through him. I'm going to push it through, all the Bitcoin places that I'm on. There's a huge group here in Utah for it. So I figured we just kind of throw it out there and see what they do with it. We also kind of, towards the end, we're thinking we're probably going to bring on like maybe 10 power user beta guys to be able to go through it and identify, this would be a really cool part, I really like this, and kind of give us some feedback before we, that's why we didn't launch it really. We wanted to really perfect it, and we didn't want it to be too early. We didn't want to launch it out, get 10,000 users, and all be like this, this hole right here makes it all completely worthless. So we want to get some beta guys to really fine tune it, and then it'll be ready to go. And hopefully we'll get to the point where we're getting, 12,000 people at a time on our site. So. Thank you.
Well, that is it for the pitches. Give every person who participated with Zero, give yourselves a round of applause. I hope that if nothing else, you guys had an incredible time, met some new incredible people, and made some experiences that will last a lifetime. But with that said, it is still a competition, so we are going to go back with the judges and debate and pick some winners. But right now I'm going to have Alex come up and talk to you about this beautiful space you guys are in, this great new gift for Ogden. And explain.
So, what do you guys think of the building and space? How many people live within a front runner ride or a car ride or a walk or a bike from here? Okay, so I want all of you to know over the next couple weeks, while we're figuring out memberships and stuff, you are all welcome to come back here and work for free anytime you like. Please come back and hang out, because the building is awesome, it's great, right? But it's not going to be nearly as awesome as it could be if we don't get the right people in here working. So if you're creative, if you're entrepreneurial, if you're interested in collaborating, if you like meeting people like this, we want you to come back. Eventually you're going to need to pay, but it's only $50 a month to get a visitor's membership, meaning you come whenever you want. Yeah, that's it. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week will be open, and you can just come hang out. If you want a spot that's yours, it's $75 a month, and that also lets you use the conference room. And if you want a space that's yours, and you want to use the conference room, and you want to use the showers and lockers, it's $99 a month. That's it. So, and it's month to month, so you don't sign a year contract or something like that. And then everybody pays $99 a year, whichever choice you get, and that goes into what I'm calling the food fund. Because as you can see, I like to feed you well. So we're going to bring in free food periodically. We're going to have lots of events like this. We've got Hack Ogden every Wednesday. We've got a lot of other things lined up. We've got a partnership with the guys up at Summit. Several of them have joined, and they're going to be bringing down some of their friends from Powder Mountain to come mentor. Several of the venture capital funds, including Blake's and Kickstart Fund and Mercado and Epic Ventures and others, they're going to be holding their partner meetings here once a month, and then they're going to be doing office hours after meeting. You can sign up for a time with the top 5 venture and angel and early stage seed funds in Utah and get just 20 minutes with them, just ask questions, get advice, whatever. So they'll be here every week because we're going to space them out once a week for the month doing that, and we're going to invite up other people from out of town all the time to come in here and hang out. So I can't express to you how important it is to have you come back. So I want you to for free for a while until you get comfortable, and then at some point, like I said, you should know that money, it all goes in to fund this place. So nobody's paid to work here, we don't have any employees that work here, the store will downstairs, but the other floors don't. Well, the Small Business Development Center does, but we don't have anybody running this place, it's all us. I'm going to be down just hanging out, working. All the money goes back into what we're doing here. It's all debt-free, it's all paid for. And so in order for it to work, we need you guys to come back. So if you want to do something different, like Salt Lake's already Salt Lake. Provo and Utah County, they already have all these tech companies. Like, if you want to do something, like be a part of something new and something exciting and make a dent and contribute in a place where it's going to be felt, then come here. And I'm not trying to get you to move here. Like, I live in Bountiful. Like, live where you want, work where you want, but come visit here. Come hang out here once in a while. You don't have to like permanently be a part of this community, because those other communities, Salt Lake and Logan and wherever you are, they are all awesome, and I love visiting there. But we need more people to come hang out here, and so hopefully you feel comfortable, you feel welcome, and you'll want to come back. So thank you for being here. They'll come announce the winners and stuff, and then when they're done, I would just ask that everybody help us kind of clean up, make sure everything's back in its original spots. Remember, lift, don't drag. These floors are just, aren't they like the most beautiful floors? I want my house to look like this. So we'll put everything back and clean everything up, and then I don't know if anybody's doing after party or going out for drinks or hanging out. I'm taking my daughter on a date, so I'll be adios, but not till after we help clean. So anyway, right there. Oh yeah, Keith, you're hosting a little after party. Yes, no? You wanna? Yeah, he's buying some drinks and stuff, so there'll be all kinds of fun things to do after. But anyway, give yourselves all a huge hand. It was awesome today. I love all of you. Turn you down. That is, you guys made it like icing on the cake. That is so awesome. Congratulations, you two. So, okay, so we'll just hang out and chill until they come back. Thanks for coming.